We welcome you to Montreal, Quebec for Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final. Canada's last hope to get a Stanley Cup is the Montreal Canadiens. They have not gotten a Stanley Cup in Canada in 33 years. Montreal is trying to tie the series up to continue to dream here for that Stanley Cup. Hello everybody, I'm Max. Glad you can be with us on our coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs here on the NHL and MHS Eastern Conference Final. A huge game, you could argue a must-win for the Montreal Canadiens if they want to keep hopes alive to get that Stanley Cup and continue Canada's hope in trying to break that 33-year-old curse that they have had since the 1993 Montreal Canadiens. There are no changes in the lineup for either teams, as in Game 3, it was the overtime winner by Andrei Svechnikov that ended Game 3. And the Hurricanes have really limited the opportunities for the Montreal Canadiens after Game 1, after they allowed around 22 shots against. They have not allowed much after that. They have only allowed 25 combined shots in the past 2 games. They allowed 13 shots last game against the Canadiens, and right now they have really limited the offense. And right now, Montreal's got to find a way to get offense going because it has not been going for them in the past 2 games. And with no changes in the lineup, they're going to have to find an answer quickly, or else they could be down 3-1. For the Carolina Hurricanes, they've been in the position before. They have been so close to the final sometimes, and they have not been able to do so. They have gotten swept in the past couple Eastern Conference Finals. They haven't been able to move on, especially last year against Florida. They lost in 5, and the years after that, or before that actually, were against the Panthers once again. It was a sweep, and then spanning back to 2009, the Pittsburgh Penguins sweeping them as well. They're looking to get a stranglehold in this series that they have not gotten in a long time in the Eastern Conference Final game this late. They have not had a series lead since the 2006 Eastern Conference Final against the Buffalo Sabres. Right now, they look to take a 3-1 series lead going back to Raleigh for Game 5 on Friday. And if they do have a 3-1 lead, and if they win that game number 5 at home, they will face the Vegas Golden Knights in the Stanley Cup Final. The Montreal Canadiens trying to say otherwise right now as they look to try to win Game 4 and tie the series up at 2 in the Eastern Conference Final. If they do, both teams a best of 3 and 2 wins to the Stanley Cup Final. Game 4 about to start soon as the anthems and the intro start once we come back here on the NHL and MHS. Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final, brought to you by the coverage of the NHL on MHS. Back here at the Bell Center for Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final, where the Carolina Hurricanes lead the series 2-1, trying to go up 3-1 in the series over the Montreal Canadiens. Canadiens looking to respond here at home, where they have not had a good home record. They're 2-5 in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Their last home victory was in Game 3 of the Buffalo series. They're going to need a win here tonight to even the series up, going back to Raleigh, North Carolina. Because if they don't, they're down 3-1 and going on the road, where they have been good, but also the Carolina Hurricanes have a real good home record in 5-1 compared to the Canadiens' road record in 7-3. The anthem's about to start here soon. The intros. One main thing that the Montreal Canadiens need to do here is get the offense going, trying to get through the pressure that the Carolina Hurricanes apply to them, because that's what's been weakening them. They have been out-battled of the puck most of these times in the past 2 games. Game 1 was an exception, but the forecheck of the Carolina Hurricanes has fully gotten into the works right now, and they have been very good and connected as a team in their forechecking. And if they have an off night, it is something that the Montreal Canadiens have to capitalize on, like they did in Game 1 of this series. Right now, we will see if the Canadiens can respond here in this huge Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final. Remember, there are some missed opportunities in that last game. In overtime, Suzuki missing it on a breakaway. In overtime, might I remind you, if the Canadiens score in the past 2 games that went into overtime, they could be up 3 games to none in the series, even though they have been outshot aplenty, which has given them a little bit of confidence going into this one. We'll see if we have another overtime here in tonight's game, as we have already had 20 overtime games in this Stanley Cup playoff year. We'd need 8 more to break to tie the record, actually, from 1993. And the intro's about to start right now inside the Bell Center. As Halak is the one, the torchbearer inside the Bell Center. Expected. This Bell Center crowd is ready and loud as the Montreal Canadiens and the Carolina Hurricanes are about to start Game 4. So The intro starting here at the Bell Center as Jacob Dobish's birthday is today. For this game number 4, he is hoping his team can deliver, and hopefully he has a good game tonight for himself to try to even this series up against the Carolina Hurricanes, or else the Canes will be up 3-1 going back home. They've only lost 1 game in these Stanley Cup playoffs, the Carolina Hurricanes. This is their 12th game they have played. This will be the 18th game that the Montreal Canadiens have played in this postseason. The last 2 series for them going the length, all 2 game 7s. And now, the anthems will begin.
Mesdames, Messieurs, demeurez debout. Retirez chapeaux et casquettes pour l'interprétation des hymnes nationaux par Alexandre Sylvestre, accompagné à l'orgue par Diane Bibo. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Remove your hats and caps for the national anthems performed by Alexandre Sylvestre, accompanied on the organ by Diane Bibo.
Well, this crowd is loud and is ready for Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final. Jacob Dobish, Montreal goalies with 10-plus playoff wins, age 25 or younger. He's had 10. And he ties Gary McNeil, and it's his 25th birthday today. And he's hoping for a win. Frederick Anderson at the other end for the Hurricanes this postseason. 10-1, a .923 save percentage, 2 shutouts, a goal against average of 1.56. He has not been tested much in the last 2 games compared to Game 1 of this series. But he has kept the puck out of the net when it is needed to. Game 4, a huge game for the Canadiens. Can they tie the series? Or will the Hurricanes, with a 2-1 advantage already in the series, go up 3-1 going back home for Game 5? We're underway in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final. Carolina leading the series 2-1. And Montreal trying to battle back to tie this series up. Turnover at the blue line comes for Walker. His shot right into the glove and covered up by Dobish. So our first whistle, 13 seconds in. The first shot belonging to the Hurricanes. That was by Carrier, pardon me, not Walker. Evans in the face-off dot in their own end here as the Carolina Hurricanes win the draw. Shot saved. Dobish rebound. Another save off the blocker. Jankowski has it on the backhand. Swings it in deep behind. Struble tied up from behind here. Carrier. And off the boards it comes for Demidov, who looks to clear it. Evans will get it out to center ice. Cross the ice here for Gooley, cutting back in. Newhook has a cutter, and Gooley's shot blocked on the way through. From behind the net now, it's Gooley. Forced off into the corner by Carrier. Newhook backhands that one around behind the net now for Evans. Looking for a lane here from behind. He's getting pressured up high from the line. Shot wide of the net by Matheson. And it's cleared out. Evans trying to dump it back in deep. Stolen away here at the blue line. Newhook re-enters onside. Forced off into the corner where the puck will be played here by Miller. Newhook intercepts along the wall for just a moment. It is cleared out by the Hurricanes on the second attempt. No icing as it's gone back here for Noah Dobson. Tries to stretch it ahead through the middle. That gets intercepted at the line there by Miller. Shot from Marnock from the boards was blocked. Another shot towards the net was blocked by Dobson. Marnock out-muscles Dobson. Centering pass comes up high. It bounces back to the blue line. Here's Gostisbehere. Winds one on goal, and it deflects out of play. And Dobson and Marnock exchanging words after the whistle. Man, what a hit by Marnock on Dobson to just out-muscle him off the puck. The lines here is Svechnikov, Aho, and Jarvis, the top line for the Canes. Caulfield, Suzuki, and Slavkovsky, the top line for the Canadiens. And the top line already out there for the Hurricanes. As the faceoff is won here by the Canadiens by Deneau. Hudson, who had that giveaway, that turnover in Game 3's overtime that led to the Svechnikov goal, said that it was all his fault and that the last time he owned up to a mistake too. In the last series against Buffalo, he stepped up real big. Back in onside, they cut in, and the drop pass from Svechnikov, the overtime winner, centering pass comes up high. It bounces away off the stick of Dobish, and the 3-on-2 the other way. Gooley on the outside, forced off into the middle. It bounces to the dot. Hudson trying to get there, and Svechnikov clears it out to center. It's a breakaway. The other way for Blake. Blake cuts in. What a save, Dobish! Jackson Blake all alone on Dobish. He gets denied. A huge save. Stankoven will dump it back in. Bounces towards Dobish, wide of the net. Hudson now has it behind the net, and it's given away here to Gostisbehere. Stankoven in the corner. Plays that back to Gostisbehere. Winds one for a one-timer by Nikishin, and was blocked on the way through by Bolduc, who could not clear the puck. Stankoven held it in. Taylor Hall looking, trying to pass that into the middle, and they try to clear it again. It's not been able to be cleared yet. Shot by Stankoven was fanned on the dot. Hudson now has it on the backhand and then gave it away again. Played back, Gostisbehere across, and a save made again. Taylor Hall robbed. Blake from the circle spins back with pressure upcoming. Blake plays that back to the line. Long shot by Nikishin was blocked. Played via a high stick, and it's whistled down. Carolina coming out like the better team again. The shots are 5-0 in favor of the Hurricanes, as the Canadiens just struggled to clear that puck out of the zone. Multiple opportunities to clear, and a huge save by Dobish in the Canadiens' end. And then Jarvis getting hit real hard by Gooley, and he has some distress on the bench off the faceoff. Tied up, and Hudson has it, and he'll flip it out to center ice. We're not even 4 minutes into the game yet, and already Carolina looking like the better team already. Montreal looks scared right now, and they don't know what to do. They're out of sorts. Bouncing puck near the blue line. Veleno trying to dump it in deeper. Carrier got there first, stolen away from behind the net by Bolduc. Played back to the line. Here's a long shot that got blocked on the way through. To the corner it goes for Duck. Poked away by Miller. And he'll clear it ahead. One-on-one the other way. As a chance there was blocked out of play. The chance there for Eric Robinson. And then the shove by Struble after the whistle. Right now, the Montreal Canadiens look out of sorts and do not have anything going right now in their favor. Meanwhile, the Hurricanes looking like the ready team already in Game 4 of this Eastern Conference Final Series. The winner of this series will move on to the Stanley Cup Final and will face the Golden Knights. Question is, who is it going to be? Is it going to be the Canadiens keeping the Canada hope alive, or will it be the Hurricanes for the first time since '06 to make it to the final? Aho and Suzuki. Aho gets warned and gets kicked out of the dot and replaced by Jarvis. Off the draw, won by Suzuki. And Dobson looking to clear it. It's turned over to Jarvis. They cannot clear the puck again here. They have struggled to clear it out. Svechnikov shot towards the net, glove there by Dobish. The shots are 6-0 in favor of the Hurricanes early on, and we're not even 4 minutes in. Another failed clearance attempt here. Canadiens really don't look good right now, and Dobish is keeping them in it. This is the exact opposite that the Canadiens wanted here, but it seemed like the Hurricanes have taken complete control of this series right now at the moment, ever since Game 2. Since the beginning of Game 2. Another turnover along the wall. Jarvis shot towards the net. Graced off the stick of Dobish. Demidov has it. Plays it ahead for Dobson, who fires it back in from the blue line. Newhook will get it in the corner, then try to drop it off for Evans, but Jarvis is in the way. And here they come for Aho. Aho, the drop pass. Shot. Save made again. As Svechnikov gets another opportunity. It gets pushy in front of Dobish. And right now, the Hurricanes are really pouring it on. 3-game losing streak for the Canadiens at home. Getting outscored 14-7. Remember, when they lost that Game 4 and that Game 6 against Buffalo, and they lost that Game 3 here a couple nights ago. Face-off win, and Struble has it. He'll play it for Caulfield. Tries to stretch it into the middle. It's turned over once again at the blue line. Marnik. The Canadiens try to keep going through the middle, and it keeps getting read there by the Hurricanes, and it's not working out. They got to change that up. Miller rides it around the boards. Can't be cleared out of the zone just yet. Deflected up in the air. It stays in place. Slavkovsky in the corner. Pressure from behind by Miller. He gets the puck free from the pile. Tries to backhand that one into a free corner. Carrier gets there first. And Ehlers tries to clear it out of the zone. He fell down. Pops free for Suzuki. He waits, and he gets pressure from behind by Marnik. What a play by Jordan Marnik to apply the pressure. Now a breakaway. Save made as it goes wide. Huge hit there by Ehlers on Suzuki where the puck was nowhere near him. Fans wanted the penalty. They won't get it. My goodness. Already good action here, and it's been lopsided right now in favor of the Hurricanes. Another bad change almost for the Canadiens. Carolina could not take advantage of that. Falling down there was Nikishin. It's headed at the line by Stankoven. Fed it in deep, and Gooley gets there first as it dumped the stick of Hall. But Gooley came and cleared it out of the zone. It's held in once again by Stankoven and then turned it over to Texier. Deneau trying to get through Gostisbehere. They say that was offside at the line. 14:28 remaining here in the first period. Suzuki, instead of taking the shot, to try to move it in deeper, but what a play from behind by Marnuk to just pressure him from behind and lift his stick, and still no shots on goal here for the Canadiens. Ehlers with his opportunity, cutting in with some speed. Then oh, that's a cross check. Oh, wow. Suzuki might have dived a little bit there. Might have wanted to sell that a little bit, but that is a cross check right in the numbers. Bolduc intercepts along the wall. Shot towards the net, went wide. Valena will get in the opposite corner. He can play that back to the line where Struble cannot hold the puck in. Played ahead now. Back in onside. Jankowski into the middle. Backhander was blocked on the way through. And a penalty, I believe, upcoming against the Canadiens. And so a power play for the Hurricanes.
Hurricanes heading to the power play.
Montreal 77 minus penalty cross-checking.
Cross-checking on Kirby Duck. Chris Rooney with the call there. The referees in the game, Chris Rooney and Graham Skilliter. The linesmen, Ryan Daisy and Devin Berg, officiating tonight's game. Crowd booing that, obviously. And so less than 6 minutes in, already the shots already being so lopsided already in the game. Carolina has not scored on the power play in this series. It could be a real good time to score here. Jarvis from the blue line plays that to Gostisbehere. He'll play it back to the point where it's held in. Down low it goes for Svechnikov from behind the net. Plays it along the perimeter as Aho will get it now. Aho now to Jarvis in the corner. Seth Jarvis plays that back for Aho. Jarvis once again spins into the circle. Jarvis backdoor, and Stahl could not get the deflection there, and it's cleared out of the zone by Evans. So a power play right now for the Hurricanes. As they cut back in, Jarvis on the outside looking, spins back with pressure applied to him. Played back to Gostisbehere. He has the puck up high at the blue line, played it back here as they await a shot down low. Ehlers try to center one in front of the net. Jarvis battling for it behind the net, and it's played back to the line for Gostisbehere. Feed to the cross here for Ehlers. Ehlers drifted into the circle. Tried to play that down low. It got blocked on the way through by Gooley. Then the pass got intercepted once again, and it's cleared out of the zone by the Canadiens. Anderson will leave it there for Keandre Miller, as he'll skate ahead. Try to pass that to Blake. They got intercepted. Offside at the line by the Hurricanes. With 12:46 to go, the faceoff will be just outside the Canadiens' blue line. With 40 seconds to go on the man advantage, Carolina 0 for 8 in the series. In these playoffs, they have the 13th ranked power play with 11.1 effectiveness. Montreal not with the best penalty kill either, a 77.4, but they're getting the job done right now. Keandre Miller has it in his own zone as they won the draw. Stankoven, Hall, Blake, Ehlers, and Miller out there on this power play unit as Ehlers will play it across here for Stankoven cutting in. Try to play that back to Ehlers, and there was a miscommunication there. Across the ice it goes here for Blake. Blake gets shoved off there by Anderson. Comes free for Stankoven, pops into the middle. He got knocked away, and Miller will get there first. Blake tries to get that puck in, and he does. Ehlers has it along the wall. Pressure from behind by Anderson. Dobson throwing a shove there along the boards. The power play's over for the Hurricanes. They're 0 for 9 in the series. Dobson plays it across. Out of the penalty box comes Doc. Kirby Doc driving to the net. Try to center one at the side of the cage. Where's the puck? It's at the side of the net where it was jammed up on the pad of Anderson. 11:57 to go. Halak, the torchbearer, in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final. Can the Canadiens tie the series? We will see. We'll be back. Back here at the Bell Center for Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final, as the Montreal Canadiens look to tie the series up here at home. And Lane Hutson obviously blamed himself after that last game with the crucial mistake that happened there in overtime, where it basically led to the Svechnikov overtime winner. And the second consecutive game that's gone into overtime in this series. We could potentially see it here tonight with how these teams have played and how the Canadiens have held on in games even though they have been outshot by a lot. Hudson from the blue line. His shot deflected. Save. That's the first shot for the Canadiens more than 8 minutes in, and this one will be an icing. There was a race towards it, and it was called an icing. So finally the Canadiens get a shot on goal. I think they have 3, including back to the overtime back in last game, in the past 40-plus minutes of the series. They've only had 3 shots. This deflection there by Newhook almost beating Anderson. Newhook off the draw, tries to win the draw and then lost it. Chatfield will clear it out to center ice. Racing for the puck now. It's Carrier out battling there on Struble. Marnock battling along the wall, got taken down there, and Demidov in the corner gets pressure from behind by Stahl. They tie up along the board. Stahl got it free. Jordan Stahl trying to out-muscle Demidov, who had his stick tied up there. Struble gets hit there by Stahl, forces a jam up along the boards where the puck is free now for Demidov and got it to Evans. 6-1, the shots favoring the Hurricanes. 9 minutes into the first period of Game 4. Evans lost the handles. It was intercepted there by Chatfield, and Svechnikov will dump it back into the Canadiens' end. Mike Matheson has the puck now for the Canadiens behind his own cage. Looks to stretch it ahead, and he will off the boards. Deflected, so no icing. Anderson plays it on the backhand, got it to Walker. Off the glass, a weird bounce. Matheson will take care of it. Miller plays it around the boards. Not out of the zone just yet. Popped free into the middle. Slavkovsky chopped at it. Suzuki fires a shot that got blocked on the way through by Miller. Cleared out of the zone and deflected into the bench. The faceoff will stay inside the Carolina end. Almost halfway through the opening period of Game 4 of this Eastern Conference Finals series. Game 5 will be on Friday. And if there's a Game 6 necessary, it will be on Sunday. If this series ends in 5, I believe the Stanley Cup Final will start on June 2nd. That'll be either in Carolina if they win the series in 5. If it goes more, June 4th. Suzuki a backhander wide. It could either be Montreal or Carolina once again. Jarvis carries it ahead right through the middle. Back in on side. Got to Svechnikov. Dropped it off Chatfield. Back for Svechnikov once again. Plays that back to the line for a long shot that went wide. Rebound off the backboards. Comes back for Jarvis. He has control of the puck here up high. Getting pressured up high here by Caulfield. The top line out there for the Hurricanes. And there's a whistle with 9:54 to go. Chatfield, I believe, is getting called for a penalty as there was a pick at the blue line. And now there's an argument between Svechnikov and Suzuki and Caulfield too. Chatfield to the box, and so the Canadiens will get a power play. They've already had a power play goal they scored in the last game. Oh, that's a clear-cut interference. Now they're saying that Caulfield, you could see if maybe an embellishment, but they call it regardless. Either way, a power play for the Canadiens upcoming when we return in just a moment. They've scored a power play goal in the last game, the only power play goal of the series by any team. Let's see if they can get the 1-0 lead here in a crucial Game 4. Welcome you back here to Montreal. A power play upcoming. Montreal, first period of game 1, they had 4 goals on 13 shots. Since then, 6 goals on 30 plus. Shots last 3 games. 12 in game 2, 13 in game 3. They only have 1 here halfway through the first period, but this power play could really help them out and get a 1-0 lead. Cole Caulfield has been electric on the power play. He's been on fire. He's already had 3 power play goals in this playoff year. Trying to make it 4 and give the Canadiens a 1-0 lead. Tie up in the corner where Slavkovsky had it for a moment. Stahl tried to clear it, held in by Hudson at the blue line. Demidov deflected it ahead, back for Slavkovsky in the corner. On the backhand, pressure from behind there by Slavin. Caulfield, Suzuki let it go to Hudson at the point. Controls the blue line and got it back to Suzuki. Across the ice here for Demidov, down low. Hudson couldn't receive the pass. It banked off the backboards. Covered up by Anderson at the side of the net. And we get a whistle with 1:34 remaining on the power play for the Canadiens. Canadiens getting forced to the outside right now. With 9:28 to go in the first period. The top power play unit on there for the Canadiens to start it off. Lane Hudson's the only one back at the point near the blue line. Off the draw, won by Stahl. And Martinook trying to get there. Caulfield gets there instead. Pressure from behind. Held it in. Across the ice here for Suzuki. Holds it in at the point. Played it back here for Hudson. His shot deflected down low. Demidov could never control it, and he got a shot away. Not clean enough, though. Demidov got it for Caulfield once again. Plays that back for Hudson. Suzuki. Along the corner boards. Lost it there to Slavin. Tried to clear to hit off the body of Demidov, who holds it in. Played back here to Hudson at the blue line. Got it to Slavkovsky as they move around here on this power play. Hudson plays it low into the corner. Suzuki back to Slavkovsky once again. Across for Demidov in the circle. Demidov up high. Shot towards the net. Save made. Suzuki looks to center, and Slavkovsky could never get the shot away. Hudson plays that back. Demidov across Caulfield. Back for Demidov. Blocked on the way through. And the Carolina Hurricanes clear it. What a block in front of the net. 35 to go on the power play. Hudson re-enters back in on side. Getting the entry. Forced off into the corner by Miller. Steals it away from him. And Miller on the backhand will clear it down the lane to the ice. What a block in front, though. The chance for Demidov. 14 to go on the power play. And the second power play unit on here. Dobson got it to Bolduc, trying to dump it back into the corner. He does. He falls down awkwardly into the corner boards, where they battle for the puck still. Power play is over for the Canadiens, and that will do it. Shot by Matheson went wide of the net with less than 8 minutes to go in the first. Dobson holds it in. Bounced deep into the corner. Miller chops at it, and the Hurricanes have possession. Top line out there. Jarvis trying to cut in. Forced off by Mike Matheson with a huge hit at the blue line. Dobson out of the reach. Matheson gets the puck now and deflected ahead. Played by Anderson with less than 7.5 to go. Only 1 shot on that power play for the Canadiens. Stankoven across the ice as it's dumped back in by Nikishin. To the corner it goes. Falling down there was Alexander Carrier, and a penalty upcoming. Again, I think it's a boarding call, and it's going against Taylor Hall. As he went hard into the end boards. And a lot of penalties so far in this one. A cross-checking call. And so, immediately after the Montreal power play had just expired, probably like 50 seconds later, the Canadiens will get another opportunity. Taylor Hall looking at the call, and he's like, really, that was being called? 6-2, the shots favoring the Hurricanes. A power play upcoming for the Canadiens. Their second opportunity of the night. Trying to get a 1-0 lead here at home. Suzuki taking the draw. He's had 2 power play goals in this playoff year. They have been electric on the power play throughout the whole playoffs. Suzuki lost at the blue line. It was forced out by Stahl. So the top power play unit on there once again, just moments after they had their first power play. Got it to Caulfield along the boards. He'll drop it off here with Suzuki right through the middle of the ice. Carrying it back in on the entry. Onside, dropped it off Slavkovsky. That pass back, Suzuki held it in. Marinook disrupted it, but he could not clear the puck. Now he does Chatfield. Dobish played that ahead for Hudson. At his own blue line, looking to move it ahead, got it to Caulfield. Has to steer back and drop it off here for Suzuki. They're building a wall there at the blue line to prevent entries right now with the sticks in the lane. And Miller will clear it down the length of the ice once again. This power play has had nothing so far for Montreal. Hudson now has the puck, trying to carry it ahead. He'll drop it off here for Alex Newhook. Another drop pass for Texier. Second power play unit on here. Texier having some trouble carrying it back in. He got it in on side, forced off into the corner, and again poke checked away and cleared by Miller. It deflected. Something off the bench, I believe. And with 6 minutes left to go in the first period, I believe the faceoff will stay in the Hurricanes' end, or will it be outside the Canes' blue line. Shots are 7-2 in favor of the Hurricanes right now in Game 4. In this first period, again, the Hurricanes doing a great job in eliminating any chances here by the Canadiens. And that's what they've done in the past 2 games in this first period. Off the draw. Newhook trying to center one. Could not. In the corner, he's forced out by Chatfield. They battle for it. Kirby Dach got it free from the pile. Slavin gets it free now, and Robinson will backhand that one out to center in a 2-on-1, hopefully. Sure-handed, no. Chatfield, that cross-ice feed couldn't go on a delayed penalty, and Bolduc took down Chatfield. And so a power play for the Hurricanes.
Hooking.
A hooking call on Bolduc. 5:42 to go. It's going to be a 4-on-4 for 30 seconds. My apologies. And then a power play for the Hurricanes. This is a very penalty-filled first period. And that puck actually hit Caulfield on the bench, and he hit his face. That's the type of luck the Canadiens are getting. He's back on the bench, though. 30 seconds remaining on what will be 4-on-4, and then a minute and a half on power play time for the Hurricanes. Their second power play of the game coming up here, barring any other penalties. .542 remaining in this first period. 4-on-4 here at the Bell Center. Face-off won by the Canadiens. Hudson gave it away from behind the net. Blake. Centering pass for Stankoven in his skates. And Demidov will move it ahead now. Newhook. Potentially a 3-on-2 if they can hurry. Hudson on the outside looking. Shot towards the net wide of Anderson. Demidov in the corner looking. In the circle, he'll drop it off here for Gooley's shot. Deflects out of play. Into the netting. With 5:21 to go and 10 seconds to go on the power play. 4-on-4. And we'll be back in just a moment. 5:21 to go. 4-on-4 for another 10 seconds. And then a power play for the Hurricanes. 5:21 to go in this first period. We are scoreless here in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final. The Hurricanes leading the series 2-1, and they try to go up 3-1. That one deflected off the stick of Blake. The shot from Gooley as 4-on-4 remains here for another 10 seconds, and then a power play upcoming for these Hurricanes. Aho in the faceoff dot against Evans. Aho wins the draw. Gostisbehere on the backhand plays it around here. And trying to clear it out of the zone was Jarvis. He has some trouble. The power play is underway now for the Hurricanes as they look to move it back in. Aho looking from the corner boards. Playing it back to the line for Gostisbehere. Fresh off the bench. Aho shot scores! A one-timer that beats Dobish. Power play goal, and it's 1-0. What a shot by Sebastian Aho. His fourth goal of these playoffs, beating Dobish on the glove side there. And so, the Hurricanes strike first again. They have done that in every game of this series, scoring the first goal. 5:01 remaining in the first. They're out shooting the Canadiens 8-2, and they get the power play goal, their first power play goal, and now they are reviewing maybe potentially this. I think there might be a review here. Timeout by the Canadiens. They are looking at the entrance into the zone. They're trying to see if the puck went out. Now, it seems like... We'll see. They might regain a challenge here. Timeout, Montreal. Timeout's over. St. Louis. I don't know if you can call that offside. No, I didn't see anything that would reverse that call. No challenge here with 5:01 to go, and you can barely tell if that came out the line or not. So the first goal for Sebastian Aho in the last 8 games gives the Hurricanes a 1-0 lead with more than 5 minutes passing. Shot blocked on the way through, comes back to the line for Walker, deflected wide. Gooley trying to clear it out of the zone, and he will. Bouncing puck comes for Deneau, and that one chipped into the Carolina bench with 4:39 remaining here in the first period. Four goals for Aho. This is his first goal of this series. Was cold coming into this series. Did not score in the Philadelphia series. And it is a 1-0 lead. Ehlers and Gostisbehere. The Ehlers was the fresh guy off the bench when that play was made and got the pass to Aho. Stahl almost had a chance down low, and Deneau poke checked it away with a diving play with his stick. Canadiens not looking too hot right now. Shot, save, rebound, and a chance right in front of the net for Martinook was denied. Stahl plays it into the corner. Played back to the line as it's held in. Round the boards it goes. Martinook going into the corner now. It's Ehlers with the puck, playing it back here. Miller trying to drive towards the net. Miller on the backhand, looks to center, score! Off a player in front of the net. It might have went off a Canadian skate, and it's 2-0 in favor of the Hurricanes. And it's Jordan Stahl's goal. That went off his stick right there, right in front of the net. It looked like for a moment it might have went off a Canadian skate in front. It might have went off Anderson. No, it did not. It was Stahl with his stick not tangled up. And Jordan Stahl will get his second goal of these playoffs. 2 goals in 1:08. Puts them up by 2. And the shots right now 10-2 in favor. Shot, save, rebound. Caulfield trying to get the opportunity in front. Slavkovsky will play it back to the line. Matheson shot, deflected, save! Rebound for Slavkovsky, bouncing puck, it's forced out. Race for the puck now, comes for Aho. Trying to dump it back in, he did. Svechnikov trying to get in the corner, Dobson, pressure from behind there. Comes free for Jairus for a moment, then it got past him. Slavkovsky the other way. Top line out here for the Canadiens. Suzuki waits, will play it back. 2-0, the Hurricanes leading it here in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final. Trying to go up 3-1. Gooley off the boards. A stretch pass ahead here for Newhook. Forced out by Nikishin along the boards. And Nikishin will clear it to the line and out. Stankoven will move it ahead. Taylor Hall to Blake into the middle. Backhand pass. Back shot wide of the net. And Taylor Hall trying to get to that loose puck. Couldn't not. It's Gooley turning it over. Centering pass. Stankoven hit the post. Rebound. Stays out. Right now it's all Carolina in this first period, and it almost made it 3-0 Logan Stankoven. Newhook. Evans tried to poke it ahead, and he will. He got tripped up a little bit there, and no call. Demi-Dot from behind, and that looks to center in front of the net. Got blocked away. Evans plays that back into the middle. Shot by Hudson was blocked. What a diving play and a 2-on-1 the other way. Blake and Stankoven. Blake to Stankoven. Scores! Logan Stankoven. 3-0 Hurricanes. And it's fallen apart for the Canadiens here in Game 4. What a block here by Gostisbehere. The chance for Hudson in the slot. Off the skate, creates the 2-on-1. Blake and Stankoven. And it's 3-0 in favor of the Hurricanes in the first period. Wow. 3 goals in 2 minutes and 47 seconds for the Hurricanes. And they have made it a 3-goal lead here on the road. Wow. Logan Stankoven with the goal has 8 goals in this postseason. He has been great for the Hurricanes. A wide open net on the 2-on-1. What a play back by Blake on that 2-on-1. The shots are 14-4. And right now, it is falling apart for the Montreal Canadiens. They could really use one, at least, the Canadiens, to stop the bleeding. Held at the point there as Walker tries to clear it. And it's cleared out of the zone by Carrier. That one will be an icing here on the Hurricanes. Jordan Stahl, his second of the game, or second of the playoffs, and then Logan Stankoven, his 8th. Has made it a 3-0 lead here for the Hurricanes on the road in Game 4. Suzuki and Jankowski in the face-off dot in the Carolina end with 1:58 to go. Right now, not looking too hot for the Montreal Canadiens. Played along the wall. Caulfield trying to get there. Miller trying to clear it out of the zone. Walker will clear it out to center ice. Dobson has it now at his own blue line. Tries to carry it through the middle, and he will. Fires it back in from center. Anderson slowed it down for Walker. Suzuki tried to slow it down along the glass and could not, as Hudson has it at center ice now. 1:35 remaining here in the first period. Suzuki back in. Fires a shot. Save made Anderson. Walker trying to clear it out of the zone. Could not. Is held in by Dobson along the board. Slavkovsky forced out in the corner by Stahl. They battle for it still in the corner. As it's held in here by Suzuki at the blue line just barely, as he almost lost the handle. Bounces to the middle. No one was there for the Canadiens. Backhanded back in by Stahl. Matheson there first for the Canadiens. with a minute remaining here in the first period. Deflected ahead, lost there, and gloved down again, Matheson, and it's fired back in by Chatfield. Carrier now for the Canadiens, forced off there, almost a broken play. Stick got broken of Svechnikov. And it's Carrier ahead for Veleno, back in on side with 40 seconds to go in the period. Forced off into the corner, up in the air, trying to glove it down there was Bolduc, and he could not. Jarvis trying to clear it out. Veleno hits him hard along the boards. And now they carry it back in the Hurricanes. Forced off into the corner here is Aho. Plays it around Carrier. Blake throwing the body. Aho lost it. Bolduc, they battle for it in the corner. Comes free here. And Doc trying to clear. Turned it over to Aho instead. Still a broken stick on the ice here. In the Canadiens' end and near the goal crease. Played back to the line. Here's a chance from long distance. Shot blocked by Slavin. Slavin again. 4 seconds to go in the period. It's going to be forced out into the corner. And it's a 3-0 lead for the Carolina Hurricanes after 20 minutes. And what a shock here for the Canadiens. Trying to get a response from that overtime loss in Game 3. And they have looked worse here in Game number 4's first period. 3-0. The Hurricanes leading it, and what a period for the Hurricanes. This is how they play. This is their type of game. And right now they have a 3-goal lead on the road after 20 minutes of play here in Game 4. We'll be back in just a moment with our intermission report coming up next here on the NHL and MHS. 3-0, the Hurricanes leading it. We welcome you back to the Intermission Report here on the NHL on MHS. It is a 3-0 lead for the Carolina Hurricanes here in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final. So right now, it is all Carolina because they are not stepping off the gas pedal and they are just bringing it on to the Montreal Canadiens. 12-5, the shots favoring the Hurricanes after the first period. Let's go over the 3 goals that were scored in that period in a span of basically less than 3 minutes. Aho, Stahl, and Stankoven with the goals. And man, Martin St. Louis got to be saying something here in the locker room for these Canadiens because they need some sort of lift and some sort of motivation because right now they look like they already are accepting that they're going to be down 3-1. There are still 2 periods left, but obviously you only managed 5 shots. You only managed, 12 shots in Game 2, 13 shots in Game 3. Yeah, and then you let up 3 goals in the first. Yikes. It's just yikes for the Carolina Hurricanes, or for the Montreal Canadiens. I mean, it is ridiculous for them as only 10 goals by period by the Hurricanes entering this game, and they've gotten 3 here. Let's go over the 3 goals. Aho, the first goal. This is on a power play after the 4-on-4 had expired. It was Ehlers fresh off the bench who passed it to Aho for a one-timer. A clean shot there. 5:01 remaining in the first period. 1-0 Hurricanes. But then a minute and 8 later, it was Miller just throwing it towards the net. Went out the stick of Stahl. It looked like for a moment it hit out the skate of Anderson for a moment, but it did not. Jordan Stahl, the captain, gets on the board here for the Carolina Hurricanes on a tip-in goal, and it's 2-0. And then what a shot block here by, I believe it was Gostisbehere in front of the net, and it leads to the 2-on-1 for Blake and Stankoven, and Stankoven has a wide open net. What a great pass back here by Blake. Struble was going more to pressure. It was, I believe, Jackson Blake was getting pressured there, and that's when he got rid of the puck, played to Stankoven, who was just wide open, no one guarding him. And he puts it home on a wide open net, and it's not really a happy birthday right now for Jacob Dobish in net as he allowed 3 on 12 shots, even though his team's also not delivered in the offensive and defensive end of their ice. And it is a 3-0 lead for the Carolina Hurricanes after 20 minutes. Second period's about to start soon. But man, the complete opposite of what the Canadiens wanted in that first period, and they received it there. And they're going to need a lot of help going into this second period. They're going to need something. They're going to need the next goal. The next goal is huge regardless. If Carolina gets it, this game's over. I don't see any way that Montreal comes back from a 4-goal deficit here in a Stanley Cup playoff game. We have seen a multiple 3-goal comebacks here. Saw that against Colorado, Minnesota, and then obviously Vegas, Colorado, Game 3 of the Western Conference Final. That series is over, by the way, a sweep. Vegas winning 2-1 last night to move on and swept the President's Trophy winners as a shocking conclusion to that series, and probably one of the most shocking things we've seen in a long time, and how the President's Trophy winners just got dispatched just like that. Obviously, they were dealing with injuries with Nathan McKinnon. Okay, let's actually read the Nathan McKinnon, Nichushkin, and Cale Makar receiving injuries and all that. Let's see what the chat says here. Ed in our chat says, I think you'll see a different team in the second period. I wouldn't count Montreal out yet. Well, I'm not gonna count them out. But I will say that the next goal is huge if they get it, because then they can build off something. Because right now they look dead in the water. And if they don't get the next goal, I don't know. It doesn't look too good for the Canadiens if they don't get the next goal. So that's just my opinion on that. I wouldn't count them out just yet. And obviously, we still got 2 more periods left here in this Game 4, and obviously a lot of things could change, but they need the offense to wake up, and they need some shots on goal. They're praying for shots on goal. They're trying to get to the pressure of the Carolina Hurricanes. But Rod Brendamore's squad is not going to ease up. Martin St. Louis and the Canadiens will have to find a way to get it going here in the second period, as the Hurricanes have a 3-0 lead after 20 minutes. We'll be back with our second period coming up next here on the NHL on MHS. Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final is brought to you by the NHL MHS coverage of the Stanley Cup Final. And we're back here at the Bell Center. Second period, a 3-0 lead for the road Hurricanes, who have come in here with a storm and have taken the Canadiens and torn them apart right now. 3 goals in less than 3 minutes span in the first period has them up by 3. Montreal will need a big push here in the second period. We're underway here in the middle frame. And there's a whistle right off the draw, 5 seconds in. And I believe this was just an offside. So we continue on. Our poll reads in our chat, 68% of y'all have voted the Canadiens to win this game, 32 Hurricanes to win. Right now, our poll looks really wrong. Off the face-off, one here by the Canadiens. Mike Matheson will dump it back into the corner. Bouncing puck comes here. Carrier trying to clear it out of the zone. Walker held in once again. To the corner it goes. Jankowski has the backhander out of the zone. Dobson plays it into the middle. Anderson will carry it back in. The drop pass for Bolduc. The shot blocked the way through. The rebound comes in front. Deneau try to whack at it. It is covered up there by Anderson. Half a minute into the second period. And you got to know Rod Brind'Amour's squad is not going to take a break here at all. They're going to continue to put on the pressure on these Montreal Canadiens. 4-0 on the road, too. These 5-0, actually. The Hurricanes in this postseason have been great on the road, and they look to try to make it a 6-0 record leaving Bell Center tonight. Canadiens trying to come back from a 3-goal deficit here in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final. Suzuki wins the draw. Played back to the line for Hudson. His shot was blocked on the way through by Nikolai Ehlers. Going back for the puck now is Hudson, and he gets hit hard from behind by Ehlers. Held in along the boards. Fed in deep for Stahl, who scored one of the goals. 3 goals in that first period of a road playoff game for the first time since 2009 for the Carolina Hurricanes. They're breaking all the records right now that they have held up for a long time. Suzuki back in on the outside. Circles back and waits along the boards. Forced out by Svechnikov off the puck, and he'll clear it down the length of the ice for an icing here on the Hurricanes. And the faceoff will be back in the Carolina end. 1 minute and 8 seconds into the second period. Reminder, Game 5 of this series will be on Friday. Either a 3-1 series lead or a 2-2 series tie. Potentially the last game of the conference final. Played off the faceoff. Matheson plays that back. One-timer by Dobson. Save. Rebound. Evans. The bouncing puck could never settle it down. Canadiens have to throw stuff more and towards the net. Aho was offside if he touched it, so he did not. Dobson gave it away to Aho. Svechnikov racing to the loose puck into the corner. Dobson. Bouncing puck comes for Demidov. Pressured along the wall off the skate of Aho, but Demidov gets it back, and he'll clear it out to center ice. Slafkovsky tried to play that into the middle for Dobson. Intercepted. Got it back, and Jarvis, Aho battling at center. Slafkovsky got hooked there a little bit there as Demidov will play it back in. Evans is offside. Friday will be game number 5 of this series. Then Game 6, if necessary, will be on Sunday. Back here at the Bell Center. For Canadiens fans, they hope that they can see their team once again, because potentially this could be the last time they see their Montreal Canadiens. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. The Golden Knights are either the Hurricanes or the Canadiens. We'll start Game 1 probably in June when we start. June 2nd or June 4th, I believe the dates are. Blake in the corner looking the center one for Hall, and it did not go. Taylor Hall plays that back. Stankoven in the circle. Shot save. Made again. Blake from behind in that wraparound. Attempt in front. Stankoven stopped. Rebound. Hall stopped as well. On the rebound on Dobish. Forced back in by Miller. Some huge saves there by Dobish. On Stankoven, Blake, and Hall. That line has been electric in these Stanley Cup playoffs for the Carolina Hurricanes. Deflected back in by Newhook. Stankoven going back for the puck here. Shots are 15-7 in favor of the Hurricanes in the game. And the Hurricanes just keeping it deep in their own zone and waiting to try to get a stretch pass here. Miller will carry it ahead out of his own zone. Flipped it ahead for Jankowski in the middle. Shot blocked on the way through. It goes into the corner. Robinson installs it deep. Carrier pressured from behind there by Kirby Dach. Veleno now will backhand it around for Gooley. Trying to backhand that one out of the zone. Pressure from behind there by Robinson. He got hooked down. Robinson steals it from behind the net. Robinson looks the center one. Jankowski stopped. Rebound. Carrier is still loose and whacked away. Struble will play it back for Dach. Close calls here to make it a 4-0 lead. Struble clears it out. Deflected back into the Carolina end. Nikishin gets hit there by Veleno. Out of the zone it goes. Racing for the puck, and Dobish gets there first. Plays it in behind his own net. Plays it to the middle. Gooley is injured. It seems like in the locker room. I think he might have got sent to the bench, actually. I'll have to see that again. Kirby Dach, and here's Texier offside. I think either Goulet got sent to the bench or he got injured. See a replay here. Oh, he just gets hit awkwardly and he spins around, and that's what happened. He just spun around weirdly. Face-off will be outside the Carolina blue line, won by Deneau, and fired back in by Matheson, not deep into the zone. Chatfield knocked it down, held in by Matheson. Then blocked again. Held in still at the line, but no one there for the Canadiens to hold it in. Svechnikov have his reach and stolen away here. Dobson re-enters into the zone, fires a shot wide of the net. Comes back to the line, shot towards the net, was stopped on the deflection in front. Stahl will clear it out of the zone. Matheson tries to stretch it ahead. Going for the puck now is Bolduc. Anderson collides there, and Slavin plays it around here for Aho, backs it out to center ice, and here's a chance for Blake cutting in one-on-one. Forced off there. Blake played it into the middle. To the line it goes. Miller played it back. Blake, the shot! Wide of the net. Miller to the corner goes for Stankoven. Logan Stankoven throws it towards the net. It was blocked on the way through by Hudson, who carries it ahead out to center ice. Into the Carolina end. Slavkovsky tied up along the wall. Plays it into the middle. Shot! Evans deflects into the corner. Right in the middle. And I believe that ramped off a Carolina stick in front. Oh my goodness, what a chance. Deflected back into the Canadiens' end. Evans off the backboards, played it. As now, the Canadiens really looking for the first goal for them. Slavkovsky back in. Fires a shot that got blocked on the way through. What a block there. And out of the reach, here comes Taylor Hall. 2-on-1. Taylor Hall trying to pass it and forced out by Struble along the boards. Hall will get it in the corner. He'll play it across to Slavin in the circle. His shot towards the net was blocked on the way through. And Evans off the glass will clear it out to center ice. Deflected back in. And forced off there was Carrier on Jankowski. They battle for it in the corner. Nikishin and Struble. Comes free for Jankowski. To the corner. It is William Carrier battling for it. Jankowski, and it's cleared out of the zone. Alex Newhook will carry it on the other side. Newhook off the the referee's skate. Forced it a turnover. In a race for the puck here, Marnik. Onside, they say. Forced out by Dobson. His shot wide of the net. Great drop pass. Here's Suzuki's shot. Deflects out of play into the netting. Same story right now for the Canadiens. Nothing going for them, as it's been great defense. We'll be back with 13:41 to go, and Goulet hopping over the bench. We'll be back in just a moment. Back here at the Bell Center, and yikes, it is not looking good for the Canadiens, and all going right here for the Hurricanes at the moment. And I'm Max, glad you've joined us here in our coverage of game for the Eastern Conference Final. It has just been all Hurricanes, and when you think the Canadiens can generate something, it doesn't work out, and that's been the story. 16-8, the shots favoring the Hurricanes right now in the hockey game. Miller backhands that one off the glass. Suzuki tried to hold it in, a desperation play, and fired back in here by Ehlers. Going for the puck, Martin, a tough angle shot, whistled wide on the short side. Ehlers will get it at center and will dump it back in to the Montreal end. About to be 7 minutes passing here in the second period. And Montreal not with much. Carrying it back in. Caulfield shot! And a save made by Anderson. Just when I say it, Suzuki will get in the corner. Newhook tied up from behind by Jarvis. Suzuki touch pass back Dobson. The pass across deflected away by Svechnikov. What a play. Carrier now. Suzuki played it back. Shot by Dobson. Save! And Jarvis clears it out. The other way, Ehlers has the puck on the backhand. Drops it off for Aho. Into the middle, Ehlers, and Svechnikov shot! And deflects out of play. I'm not doing good with Carolina names right now. Svechnikov with the opportunity, whistling that one maybe off the crossbar. Yep. Got a piece of Dobish and right off the crossbar. 16-10, the shots favoring the Hurricanes in the game. And getting pressured there. Blake off the puck. Blake tried to center. Slafkovsky gets it now ahead. It's Carrier. Back for Slafkovsky once again. Lost the handle. Dumped it back in though. Anderson plays it. Left it there. Almost a miscommunication with Gostisbehere. Evans pressuring him from behind, and it's cleared out. Montreal trying to take advantage of that. Could not. Taylor Hall will move it ahead now. On the far wing. Hall shot. Wide of the net. Gostisbehere plays it across. One timer by Nikishin. Got blocked on the way through by Slafkovsky. Huge hit there delivered by Nikishin on Gooley in the corner. Stankoven trying to battle that puck free. Pressure in the offensive zone here as Blake pressure from behind by Evans. Evans will carry it back ahead. Right to the middle. Poke checked away at the blue line, and Logan Stankoven will dump it back in. Glove down by Dobish, and he'll play it. Nope, whistled down. He didn't know what to do with the puck, but it was whistled down with 11:32 to go. The Carolina defenseman in this series had 2 assists in the first 2 games of this series. Now they've had a goal and 4 assists. 3 assists tonight by the Hurricanes defenseman. And a 3-0 lead still for the Hurricanes here in game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final. They're trying to go up 3-1 going back to Raleigh, North Carolina. Jankowski trying to win the tie-up in the dot. Comes free. Robinson trying to get there. And instead, Dobish poke checked it away. Deneau trying to dump it back in. Could not. And Jankowski trying to battle for that puck at the blue line. It's cleared out the glass. Dobson trying to go across the ice, have the skate of Chatfield. Nothing really going on here in the crowd and the Bell Center. Pretty much quiet here, as there's been nothing to cheer about for their Montreal Canadiens. Going back for the puck is Dobson. Pressure from behind there by Carrier. He wins the puck battle. He'll play it back and it's intercepted. Bolduc the other way. Looks to carry it ahead and create some momentum here for the Canadiens. It goes into the corner. Bolduc plays it for Deneau on the opposite side. On the backhand. Pressure from behind by Miller. Plays it in deep in behind the net. Centering pass. No one was there in front. Stahl intercepted. Jordan Stahl. And now Ehlers will dump it back in. Dobish lets it go, and Marnook gets it in the corner. Lost it to Hudson. Lane Hudson will play it back here. As Struble will stretch it ahead. Deflect off the skate of Miller. Bounce towards Anderson, who has not been tested much here in game number 4. Turnover, and the centering pass there for Newhook could not connect. Struble It was a misplay by Anderson that came and took advantage of that mistake. Struble will look to carry it ahead, and he'll fire it back into the Carolina end halfway through the game. Halfway through this period. Going for the puck is Hudson. Tied up from Svechnikov from behind. Svechnikov looks to center one, and it goes back to the line where no one could hold it in. Slavin goes back for it, and he'll play it back here for Chatfield. Deflected pass. Ahead now. Comes Jarvis to the middle. Jarvis, the shot blocked and out of play into the netting with 9:37 remaining here in the second period. We'll be back. It is a 3-0 lead for Carolina, trying to go up 3-1, going back to Raleigh, North Carolina for Game 5. Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final, and it's a 3-0 lead here for the Hurricanes. Martin St. Louis squad in the Montreal Canadiens, and they need to step it up here. Face-off will be in the Montreal end, and this Bell Center crowd has been very quiet. There's nothing to cheer about. Nikishin driving to the net, shot off the side of the net. Nikishin from behind the net looks to center. And it did not go as it's played back here. Alexander Carrier will clear it out to the zone, out to center ice. Gostisbehere has the puck at his own blue line, fires it back in, deflected on Dobish, who will cover the puck. 9:16 to go here in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final, second period. Martin St. Louis only won one Stanley Cup, and that was back in 2004 with the Tampa Bay Lightning. That was before the lockout happened in 04-05. And he won that with the Tampa Bay Lightning, who they eliminated in 7 games in the opening round of these Stanley Cup playoffs. In Game 7, they only had 9 shots, too. Off the draw, won by the Hurricanes, played in behind the net. Jarvis, tied up from behind by Gooley. They battle for the puck now. Svechnikov trying to get it free, and he does. 9 minutes remaining here in the second period. And a 3-0 lead here for the Hurricanes here on the road. Trying to go up 3-1. Montreal could really use the next goal here. Evans carries it back in. On the outside, forced off by Miller. Evans will play it into the corner. Slafkovsky has it along the wall, trying to get through pressure from Svechnikov. Demidov plays it back for Slafkovsky. Around the boards he goes. Try to center one in front. It goes into the corner instead as he dumps it in deep. Trying to battle for it was Evans. To the line, no one was there, and no one held it in, and it's played back out to center ice. It's just nothing going here for the Canadiens here in Game 4. And they look like they're out of gas already. Slafkovsky's pass out of the reach of Dobson. Backhands that one back in, but couldn't even get it deep. Montreal was going for a change here from the Hurricanes back in on side. Ehlers looking, waiting, and the fans on the shot from the circle. Around the boards he goes. Evans. Stahl. Let it go here for Marnik. Stahl in behind the net. Jordan Stahl looks to center out in front of the net. Marnik was tied up there and could not. Stahl will steal it again from behind. Got it to Marnik in the corner. He'll play it back to the blue line for a long shot. That whistles wide. Gostisbehere. And falling down was Ehlers in front of the Montreal net. And we're going to get a whistle as Ehlers is down on the ice. I think he got high sticked. And I believe there was no penalty initially called there. We'll see. No penalty. Or at least now they're going to see if there's a call. Now we're going to see if they're going to call anything. Chris Rooney and Graham Skilleter. And the linesman Ryan Daisy and Darren Berry to conversate if they saw anything. Oh, Matheson kind of cross-checked him in the face.
Penalty has been assessed on the play. The play is under review.
They're gonna review this, and I think this will be a power play upcoming for the Hurricanes because, yes, Matheson gets his stick right in the face of Ehlers cross-check, and this should be a quick review, by the way. 7:36 to go, and this should be a delayed penalty upcoming. This should be a quick one by the referees to call something here on the play. So this one's under review. And that's why Ehlers was down on the ice. Let's see. Oh. Yeah, that's stick. There's no glove. This should be a quick review.
After review, number 8 Montreal, minor penalty cross-checking.
Power play here for the Hurricanes. Martin St. Louis wants an explanation, but from the replays that we saw, that was pretty clear. And so a power play for the Hurricanes. They already scored a power play goal here in this game. It was by Sebastian Aho. And things get worse here for the Montreal Canadiens. If you thought it was getting bad, it gets even worse. 3-0. The Hurricanes leading, and they have a chance to make it a 4-0 lead. Friday will be Game 5 of this series. Same start time, and we'll see for the first time here on the NHL and MHS the crowd in Raleigh for potential series-ending game. Right now, Stahl will take the face-off against the Canadiens here as a power play is starting here for the Hurricanes. Into the middle, Stahl. Knockdown shot, save again, Dobish. The chance there by Gostisbehere. .152 remaining on the power play for the Hurricanes. Jarvis, Svechnikov, Stahl, Aho, and Gostisbehere out there for the Hurricanes. Aho already with a goal tonight, and that was on the power play. Deneau in the face-off dot for the Canadiens against Stahl. The tie-up in the dot, won by Aho. He'll play it back to the blue line, open room, pass back door, Svechnikov, and Carey touches up, and I think this is going to be another penalty on the Canadiens. It's going to be a 5-on-3. Deneau going to the box. Unbelievable. 5-on-3 for the Hurricanes. Wow. Deneau to the box. And a 5-on-3 power play here for the Hurricanes. I might have spoken a little bit too soon on how things are getting worse for the Canadiens. Deneau, another cross-checking, and the thing is just the frustration for the Canadiens coming out right now. A 5-on-3 for 1:44. A huge opportunity to get some distance here in the game. 7:20 to go. Deneau in the box for cross-checking. 5-on-3 power play here. Here's a chance. Down low for Svechnikov looking. He'll play that back. Gostisbehere from the blue line. Plays it into the circle for Ehlers. Back for Gostisbehere once again. Plays it here down low. Jarvis is down low here as he got the pass from Aho. Aho from the boards plays that back. Gostisbehere looking. Ehlers fakes the shot in the dot. Plays it low for Svechnikov. Across here for Aho. Jarvis will get in the corner, back for Aho once again. Aho looking. Plays it across. And Ehlers, it deflects out of play. 1:09 remaining on the 5-on-3 power play for the Hurricanes. That is something you just do not need to do if you're Danault. That is such a dumb thing to do there, especially when your team's already shorthanded. Top power play unit still on there for the Hurricanes with 1:09 remaining on the 5-on-3. Try to make it a 4-0 lead and maybe more. Face-off win off the glass. Carrier tied up with Jarvis. Aho wins the battle. Centering pass deflected away off the stick of Gooley. Gostisbehere looking. Waits and got it to Aho. The pass blocked off by Evans. What a play. It's cleared down the length of the ice. Gostisbehere now off the pass from Anderson. And Ehlers will carry it ahead. 40 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. Svechnikov drifting to the circle. And he'll drop it off here for Gostisbehere at the point. At the own blue line. Across it goes into the circle. Jarvis. Back door there. And for Aho, that did not go as it deflected off a skate in front and deflects down into the Carolina end, cleared out. 20 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. Ehlers through the middle. New skaters on the ice here as Miller will hold it at the point. Miller waiting. Got it low. Back for Miller once again as Aho got the pass. Aho gets it now. Waits. Back for Miller. Into the circle now for Ehlers. Back door in front, deflected wide. Aho. Hall was parked in front of the net. Across it goes for Ehlers. Power play still ongoing. Aho waits, fires. It got blocked on the way through. And Evans will clear it. And a huge penalty kill by the Canadiens. And we're back to 5-on-5. A 5-on-3 killed off, and that's the most that this Bell Center's cheered for. What a kill. Dobson back in, drops it out for Suzuki. Waits, fires, a shot, save! And that will be played out to center, and Ehlers will carry it ahead. The drop pass for Blake on the outside. Taylor Hall gets it now. Slavin winds one on goal and a save made. Dobish. Stankoven, fresh off the bench, comes Carrier in on goal. Carrier shot and a save, Dobish. 4:44 to go. A huge kill by the Montreal Canadiens. And maybe they can build momentum off of that. 3-0. The Hurricanes still with the lead. Canadiens getting outshot 22-11, but they killed off a 5-on-3 power play that spanned for more than a minute and 40. And a huge kill. And this Canadiens crowd trying to urge their team to get one at least, to maybe get something going. Chatfield will hold it in at the line, fed it in deep. Jankowski around the boards it goes. Robinson will get there first. Round again as it's Jankowski behind the net, now into the corners. He's forced off there from behind by Deneau. Spins back on pressure. Backhander towards the net, went wide. Comes for Robinson. In behind the net. Carrier trying to knock it down. Comes for Jankowski instead. Carrier out muscles. Carrier driving the net. Save, rebound. Robinson missed an open net. And Jankowski will feed it back here to the point. It's held in by Slavin. What a chance there. Jankowski. Carrier's parked in front of the net. Jankowski looking. Feeds it in deep into the corner. Carrier deflected away, and Deneau poke checked it ahead for Slavkowski. Demi-double Carrier back in. Onside and then lost it. Slavin will chip it back in. Still a 3-0 lead for the Hurricanes here on the road. Stahl will play it back. Long shot by Miller into the corner. Deneau gets it now, and he'll chip it ahead here for Alexander Carrier of the Canadiens. Off a skate. Canadiens trying to force it in deep. Kind of did, and they get the change. Stahl, the drop pass. Gostisbehere. Back for Stahl in behind the net. Ehlers will get in the corner. Pressure from behind by Newhook. Ehlers will get it. Free from the pile. Played it back here from a long shot, and another save by Dobish. Hudson now plays it here for Struble. And now Newhook trying to gain some speed. Forced back in to the Carolina end. Walker lost it. Suzuki in the corner. Gets it free. Plays it back here for Hudson with some room. Shot deflected down low. Suzuki in behind the net. On the backhand, out of the forehand. Pressure from behind by Jarvis. Suzuki trying to drive towards the front, and Aho gets it now as Jarvis is pressuring him well from behind. Up in the air. Miller gets it now as he'll carry it back in and chipped it off the glass into the corner with 2:40 to go. Suzuki, Caulfield off the boards, and Gostisbehere will force it back into the far corner. Mike Madison now gets the puck, and he'll sling one ahead, and it's moved ahead now by Suzuki back into the zone. Suzuki has a cutter. Suzuki into the corner. Nothing open here for the Canadiens. Back to the line. Suzuki deflected, save, rebound! Another save by Anderson! Now comes back in front, shot! Caulfield was denied! The best opportunities of the game for the Canadiens. 3 shots on that sequence, and Freddie Anderson was big in net right there. The Suzuki deflection and the rebound by Josh Anderson. Wow. What a chance. And then Anderson throwing a punch on the Keeshan after the whistle as they exchanged. And I think there might be... No, there's nothing going on. No penalties. 3 shots on that last sequence for the Canadiens. Shows at 23-14. They have passed their Game 2 and Game 3 total shots. Game 2 they had 12 shots. And in Game number 3 they had 13. They have 14 here in Game 4. They need more. Deneau trying to win the draw. He does against Stahl. Shot on the way through by Hudson was blocked on the way through from behind the net. Hudson looks to center, and no one was there. Now Jalen Chatfield will take it in the other way. Chatfield driving in. Shot. Save, and it goes behind Dobish. And Chatfield and Anderson, and here we go in the corner as everyone gets together now. All tangled up, and Ehlers and Hudson. Ehlers got his helmet ripped off. Ehlers trying to get back into the pile. Anderson and Jalen Chatfield has him by the collar. And all this with 1:52 remaining here in the second period. And here we go. They're going after Josh Anderson here. Ehlers on the piece of Anderson right now. And the linesmen and referees trying to separate them, and we'll see if we get any penalties out of this. Josh Anderson. Let's see what the penalties are here. Let's see. I think this might be a Hurricanes power play.
17 trivia.
Wow. Canadiens crowd booing that, and it's going to be another power play here for the Hurricanes with 1:52 remaining here in the second period. What a chance of this. That one just got wide of the net. It went through Dobish, but on the wrong side of the net for the Hurricanes. But they'll have a power play again. This is their 5th opportunity on the man advantage in this game. They've had a 5-on-3. They had a multiple 5-on-4s. They did score on one. Martin St. Louis just seems done with it behind the bench, as they know. This is a crucial call. 24-14, the shots favoring the Hurricanes. Josh Anderson for roughing. No calls against the Hurricanes there. Matheson will fire it down the length of the ice. And a power play here for the Hurricanes. They're 1 for 4 in the game. Only with one shot on goal, and it came off of Aho's stick. Got the power play goal back in the first period. Miller back in on the entry. Got it to Jankowski. Forced off into the corner. Jankowski lost it. Tying up there. Carrier played back to the line for Miller. Sends it in deep. Or tried to. At least it got blocked away by Carrier. Logan Stankoven trying to get through, and he does. Into the middle. On the entry. Stankoven leaves it for Miller. Some open room. Miller looking. Trying to get that pass across, and it got blocked away, and it's cleared out of the zone by Evans. Miller now will get it. The top power play unit is about to get on under here with a minute remaining here in the second period. Aho plays it in. Blake cutting into Aho just behind them. And out to center it goes. The puck possession in the game has just been dominated by the Carolina Hurricanes. It seems like the Canadiens have not gotten any puck possession in this game. They have 15 shots on goal. And the Hurricanes with 24. And with 35 seconds remaining here, they're getting changes right now, the Hurricanes, on this power play unit. Ehlers, the drop pass, Gostisbehere offside. With 26.9 remaining, the Montreal Canadiens are not looking hot. And the Hurricanes are playing their style of game right now. They're annoying their opponents. They're out shooting them. They're great on the forecheck and pressuring them well and eliminating their opportunities and limiting them. And I think Logan Stankoven might have gotten injured on that last play, as he might have gotten something in the hands. Our intermission report coming up next, and can preview potentially what could be a Vegas-Carolina Stanley Cup final. Or will Montreal battle back from a 3-goal deficit in the third period? They'll need a miracle. Off the draw, Evans wins it, and he'll carry it ahead short-handed. Back into the zone, Evans lost it on the poke check from behind. Gostisbehere now has the puck with 15 to go in the period. Aho through the middle. The pass deflected away. Evans will look to go short-handed. 5 seconds to go in the period. Newhook on the outside out of the reach. That will do it for the second period. A 3-0 lead for the Hurricanes after 40. The 3 goals coming back in the first period. And a third period that the Canadiens will need a miracle in to try to even this game up and try to get something going, because they need, in their perspective, need to tie this series up, because, man, not a lot of teams win series when they're down 3-1, and they're a period away from doing so, and the Carolina Hurricanes have done a spectacular job in doing so. This Bell Center crowd is worried for the third intermission, and let's see if they can regroup. For the Hurricanes, continue to do what you're doing. We'll be back in just a moment with our second intermission report coming up next here on the NHL and MHS. 3-0, the Hurricanes leading it. We welcome you back, everybody, as it's a intermission report, a 3-0 lead for the Carolina Hurricanes here in the Bell Center. We welcome you back in. I'm Max. Glad you can be with us here on our coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs, Eastern Conference Final. 3-0 lead here for the Hurricanes. Oh, that just got dark real quick. My monitor's giving the light here for the camera. Anyways, in a period, finally, the Montreal Canadiens actually got double-digit in the shot category, but they are still down 3-0 here in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final. And we're 5:50 away from our second intermission from ending the shots after 2 periods, 24-15. And Montreal is going to really need a dominant third period to try to come back in this one. But they have not been able to get that, honestly, in this series. And there's still 8 seconds to go on the Carolina power play that was called late in that second period. The penalty by Josh Anderson on a roughing call on Nikolai Ehlers. A lot of penalties taken here by the Canadiens that were not necessary, especially the Philip Deneau one. And I think it's just falling apart for the Montreal Canadiens. This game has just been the most dominant that we've seen the Carolina Hurricanes in this series. And I think the Canadiens are just out of gas right now. They are looking like a team that is out of gas. They've gone through 2 series where they've gone the full length in 7. And this just does not look like the same Canadiens team we saw in the first 2 rounds in the Tampa series and in the Buffalo series. It's just not what we've seen from them, and it's just not looked well for them, honestly, here in this one. So, a huge third period upcoming. Can Carolina hold on to their 3-0 lead? We've seen 3-0 leads here in the Stanley Cup playoffs being blown here, and we saw that in 1 period, basically. Vegas, Colorado, second period, Vegas started a comeback. They got 1 goal. They got another one quickly, tied it to end the period, and then they won 4-3 or 5-3 in Game 3. They swept the Colorado Avalanche, the President's Trophy winners. They are awaiting the winner of this series for the matchup in the Stanley Cup Final. They'll play on the road, regardless of who wins in the East. They would either start in Montreal or will start in Carolina. And Vegas would be on the road. Vegas would host Games 3, 4, and 6. And either Carolina or Montreal host Game 1, 2, 5, and 7 of the Stanley Cup Final that will start in June. Now, obviously, our coverage here will be here on the NHL and MHS. We'll continue to cover this series, obviously, till the very end. And, obviously, we got 1 more round, everybody, and maybe some AHL stuff. But we're close to closing out the year on the NHL and MHS, and we've been glad that you've joined us and subscribed us. Obviously, just taking a moment here. And the Olympics really helped this channel out. We did the gold medal game, and it was just a blast to do, and it really helped out the channel. And we're just glad you've chosen us for your coverage and your radio broadcast preference of us doing the game. And we're glad that you'll hopefully stick around for the rest of this season and obviously for the seasons to come here on the NHL and MHS. 81 votes in our poll. 67% of them are in favor of the Canadiens. They're going to need a real good miracle if they want to get that 33% going to the Hurricanes. So, the Canadiens, they have to play offense. They have to stop taking penalties, and if they can get some calls, take advantage of those power plays because they need them. They really need a goal. Yeah, they can get a goal. Maybe. They're back in business. We will see in just a moment. Our third period will begin of Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final. The chance for the Hurricanes to take a 3-1 series lead and be 1 win away from the Stanley Cup Final. Or will the Canadiens miraculously come back, force this thing to an overtime, or win it in regulation and tie this series up? We'll see. We'll see you in just about 2 minutes as the third period will start in just a moment here on the NHL on MHS. Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final is brought to you by the NHL on MHS. We're back, everybody, and the third period underway here in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final. The power play is over now for the Carolina Hurricanes. A 2-1 advantage in the series in favor of the Hurricanes. Back in, offside at the line, 16 seconds in. And we've seen a lot of frustration here by the Montreal Canadiens, and with that reasoning, and Martin St. Louis getting frustrated even behind the bench. Let's see what they said in the locker room, because I don't know. This seems like those type of games where it's just going to go away and fiddle off, and it's just not looked good for Montreal throughout the whole entire night. And it continues on here as Dobish plays it in behind his own net. Mike Madison plays it now, and moved ahead here by the Canadiens, deflected back into the Carolina end. Anderson plays it off the wall. Kirby Dach trying to battle for that puck free. Intercepted along the near wall there, and it's cleared down the length of the ice. Not enough for icing. Going back for the puck now is Alexander Carrier. Got it for Lane Hudson, who will look to move it ahead of his own blue line through center. Dumps it back into the far corner. Hudson trying to get there. Tied up with Walker. On the backhand, Aho clears it around, and out to center ice it goes. Carrier plays that across here for Kirby Dach, and a return feed here for Carrier. As more than a minute has passed by here to the third period. Suzuki carries it back in on the side, centering pass, and could not connect there for Caulfield as it went off a skate in front. Caulfield and Miller around the boards, deflected out of the zone. It's the same story over and over, rinse and repeat. It has been like that throughout the whole entire game. Carolina has just played a dominating game in the talent that they have. That one, I believe, was offside or an icing. Taylor Hall on the road in this postseason, a goal and 7 shots in Game 3. Has 2 goals, 6 assists, and 8 points on the road in 5 games on the road in the postseason. And he's been a very good player for the Hurricanes ever since he's joined the squad. In this postseason, he has helped out that line with Stan Coven, and Blake has been on fire in these playoffs. Off the face-off. Stolen away in the corner by Taylor Hall, in behind the net. Pressure from behind by Madison. Taylor Hall plays that back. Long shot. Blocked. Rebound in front, and it fired wide off of Blake. Deneau blocked that, I believe. Centering pass for Taylor Hall. Knocked away. Goes into the corner for Stanko, and Taylor Hall winds one on goal, and a save made. Dobish. 2:01 into the third period. Carolina really got to their game in Game 2 of this series, and I think Lane Hudson got a little bit frustrated at in Game 2 of that collision with Taylor Hall. I think he might have, gotten some sort of injury, kind of. I mean, he's still playing through it, but who's not injured at this point of the postseason or any season of the NHL? Newhook looking, waiting, throws it towards the net, wide of the net as it deflected off a stick. Gostisbehere knocked down as it's held at the line by Dobson. Played it low, Caulfield, back for Dobson. His shot deflected wide. Suzuki in the corner. And Dobson trying to hold it in, and he has some trouble, and he is forced out by Gostisbehere. Going back for the puck now is Lane Hudson. For Suzuki. Chipped it back into the zone off the glass, and knocked down here by Newhook. Robinson, and it's cleared out. Going back for the puck here, it is Carrier. Hudson now off the boards for Slafkovsky. Uri Slafkovsky looking to move it ahead here on the outside, forced it back in. Around the boards it goes as it's Ehlers trying to cleared out of the zone. Evans, the long shot that got blocked. Juraj Slafkovsky in behind the net. He gets it in the corner. He'll play it back here to the point. Long shot by Carrier was blocked on the way through. Hudson chipped at it. And it's played here by Ehlers back into his defensive end. They have outscored their opponents 19-8 on the road. The Hurricanes, they're 5-0, trying to get 6-0 with a win here at the Bell Center. If they do, they'll take both the games here at the Bell Center on the road. Played it low, shot towards the net. Was deflected away. And Demidov going to clear it. Jarvis instead falling down. Hudson, no penalty. About 4 minutes into the third period and nothing going for Montreal and getting a push here and trying to make it a 3-1 game or even get some momentum back on their side of things. Carolina's just playing a great defensive structure. They're continuing to play how they were at the beginning of the game, how they've been playing since Game 2. It has just been that kind of suffocating game here for the Canadiens that they have not been able to overcome since Game 2. In the middle, shot, save Dobish, rebound comes in front. Dobish wants to play that puck because he wants to continue this game going and maybe get some momentum. And the Canadiens going the other way potentially. They're forced back into their defensive end. Gooley, 26-15, the shots favoring the Carolina Hurricanes here in the game, and they have a 3-0 lead. All three goals coming back in the first period. Deneau plays that back, and Matheson could not hold that puck in, and going back for the puck here is Bolduc. Stretches ahead, and Matheson will fire it back in. Chatfield now Slavin in the corner, tying up there with Newhook. Suzuki will play that back into the point where no one was there to hold it in. Cole Caulfield has it, and he'll play it back. Suzuki looking to carry it ahead. Chipped the pass. That got blocked away by Robinson. We're more than 5 minutes passing here in the third period and nothing going here for the Canadiens. And the more and more the time ticks here, the more you know that this is probably a 3-1 series lead for the Hurricanes. They can hold on to this 3-goal lead. But we have seen crazy stuff in these Stanley Cup playoffs in years past and in this year as well. We could see one of those moments here tonight. We will see. This third period, 14:47 remaining here in the third. And Jarvis getting a puck up high there late on that play. I believe it was by Hudson. And we continue on here at the Bell Center. Off the draw. Won by the Hurricanes too cleanly. And Miller will have to get it back at center ice. Ehlers plays a pass ahead for Stahl. Cutting in. Stahl waiting. Try to feed that in front. And could not, as it was blocked away off the skate of Struble. Played back to the line for Walker, who installs it deep. Stahl in the corner will get it now. Pressure from behind by Struble as they tie up with the sticks there, in behind the net. Ehlers centered, side of the net, Dobish. And Matheson now will play it around. Struble, Caulfield trying to clear, could not. Held in by Ehlers. Fan on the shot, but was able to hold the puck in. Stahl will get it along the board. Stahl into the middle. Pressured there off the puck. Miller installs it deep. Another long shift here for the Canadiens. Shot by Svechnikov and a save made. Svechnikov will get in the corner, and he'll play it around to the opposite side here for Aho. Getting some fresh skaters out there on the Hurricanes. Svechnikov in the corner has the puck still, and he'll play it back to the point. Held in by Slavin. Around the boards it goes for Jarvis. Jarvis in the corner. Pressure from behind there by Struble. Jarvis trying to get through the defense. He does. Jarvis from behind the net looking. Plays that back here to the point for Chatfield. Winds one on goal and deflected off the blocker of Dobish. From behind the net, Svechnikov. He looks. Svechnikov on the backhand. Up high at the blue line, left it. Chatfield shot whistled wide. Aho as they battle for it along the board. Suzuki. Jarvis. Matheson's been out there for more than 2 minutes. Almost about to be 2.5 minutes on this shift for the Canadiens, and Caulfield will clear it along the boards. Will this go for an icing? No, it's waved off. 7 minutes have passed during the third period, and the Canadiens get the change, but they have really not generated much. I don't think they even have a shot on goal here in the third period. 29-15, the shots favoring the Carolina Hurricanes, and they're doing it again. They're playing their game like we've said all night. Stanko poke checked away, and out to center it goes. Evans now will get the puck. All three goals coming in a less than 3 minute span back in the first period. And now the other way come the Hurricanes back into the zone. Stankoven cutting, and a centering pass. Hall. Stankoven trying to bank it in. It's loose at the side of the net. They try to whack at it. It's still loose. Glove down by Hudson, and it's covered. 12:21 to go in the third period. Carolina doubling up on the shots on the Canadiens, and they have the 3-goal lead in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final with 12:21 to go in the third. Trying to take a 3-1 series lead, the Carolina Hurricanes. Welcome you back, everybody, as with 12:21 to go remaining here in the third period of Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final. Max, glad you can be with us here. It is a 3-0 lead here for the Hurricanes. Friday will be Game 5. Could potentially be the closeout game if it somehow gets forced to a Game 6 on Sunday. That will be Game 6 to be here at the Bell Center. Game 7, if necessary, will be on Tuesday. Shot from the line, blocked, rebound Blake. If this series ends in 5, if it ends on Friday, then the Stanley Cup Final will be on June 2nd. Blake, a shot, save made. Played back, Slavin the shot, another save by Dobish. And they continue to fire towards the net of Jacob Dobish with 12:04 remaining. Game 4, just last night, Dylan Coghlan, the game-winning goal and the series winner in last night's game. 2-1 the final. Vegas in the Stanley Cup Final as they sweep the President's Trophy winning Colorado Avalanche. Off the face-off, won by the Canadiens, and it is cleared out. Held in at the line. No, it's not cleared out. Down low, Stahl in front. Backhander blocked on the skate of Carrier in front of the net. Gooley off the boards, deflected ahead, onside Newhook, no, and the frustration continues as he slams that puck to the glass. It is just nothing is going right for the Canadiens as they look like they are just running out of gas. And the Carolina Hurricanes really benefited from those 11 days of break. Game 1 looked like a scare, but ever since then, they've adjusted. Rod Brindamore has adjusted, and his coaching staff have done a wonderful job, and the players have done a great job in responding from that Game 1 loss. They have not lost since. Shot from the line, save Dobish. The chance there by Keandre Miller. 33 shots to 15 in favor of the Hurricanes here in Game 4. Again, the same storyline that we've been talking about. The Montreal Canadiens not being able to get shots on goal in this period. In a period that they should probably push to try to get something going, they have no shots. The shots are 8-0 in favor of the Hurricanes. That's how good the Carolina Hurricanes can be when they play on their game, on their A game, and And that's what they've done here tonight. Held in by Slafkovsky at the point. Demidov along the boards on the outside, forced out by Miller. Battling for the puck here. It went out the back of Gooley. And it's cleared out to center. And here's a breakaway for Jarvis. In on a lone. Jarvis stopped by Dobish. Jarvis centers back up top. Aho across, and a one-timer by Svechnikov was fanned on. Carrier the other way will carry it ahead. Another big stop by Jacob Dobish here late in the third period. The shots are 9-0 in favor of the Hurricanes here in the third period. Man, oh man, have they just done a great job defensively and offensively here in this third and throughout this whole entire game. Slafkovsky, as the Canadiens continue to struggle in getting shots on goal. On the outside is Hudson. Spins back here with less than 11 minutes remaining here in the third period. Along the boards, Ehlers try to clear it out. And Ehlers will carry it ahead right to the middle. Ehlers cutting in. Past the Chatfield out of the reach, but he got it in deep to the corner for Ehlers. Tying up there with Hudson and Suzuki. Comes free. Jankowski's shot was denied by Dobish. 10:19 remaining here in the third period of the Eastern Conference Final, Game 4. What a pass here. They are just opening up room. It is just feel like a funeral march for the Canadiens in this game, because this is the game they have played the worst in. And Jacob Dobish on his 25th birthday is not getting his birthday wish right now. And yeah, it is just going, it is falling apart here for the Canadiens here in Game 4 and in this series. From behind the net, wraparound attempt was blocked away. Mike Matheson has some trouble clearing the puck there in the corner. Played around the boards, in behind the net as it's Carrier. Jankowski. Pressure from behind there by Veleno. Jankowski fed it for Robinson's shot. That's denied by Dobish. With 9:57 to go. They have outshot the Canadiens by a lot here in this third period. The Canadiens have not even managed a shot on goal. We'll be back with 9:57 to go. 3-0. The Hurricanes leading it here in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final. Back here at the Bell Center, and it's amazing that this pivotal hockey game isn't shown anywhere on national TV, but we get football and women's oh my, shoved down during prime time. Well, that's probably the agreement by the NHL showing the games. That's another ordeal right there. Jacob Slavin, highest plus/minus in the postseason, plus 44 on that list. This crowd trying to make some noise here and maybe getting the Canadiens at least a goal and not getting shut out here at home, because that would be even more embarrassing. Down 3-1 and getting shut out. Deneau now has the puck with 9:40 to go. The stretch pass ahead. Now Anderson, it gloved off the stick of Anderson. And oh, here we go. Miller and Anderson again. getting together. That gets separated quickly with 9:37 remaining in the third period. Game 5 of the series will be on Friday. We'll have coverage of that. Potentially the series-ending game and potentially our last game before the Stanley Cup final here on the NHL and MHS, which would mean we have one more series left and a potential 7 games remain in our coverage here on the Stanley Cup final. You can guarantee you there will be 4 in the final round because those are the ones that are guaranteed, games 1 through 4 of the Stanley Cup final. Be interesting to see the Vegas Golden Knights either against the Carolina Hurricanes or the Montreal Canadiens, but the Canadiens would need something big to happen here because they look dead in the water, and it's looking like it might be a Carolina-Vegas Stanley Cup final where the game 1 and 2 will be in Raleigh. But don't speak too soon. The Canadiens could obviously come back here and end this series to force this and keep it going. Keep the dream alive. Keep Canada's hope. Taylor Hall from behind the net looks to center. Deflected away, and Suzuki plays that back. Taylor Hall. Martinuk shot from the boards. Deflected behind, and it goes wide. Taylor Hall in the corner with 9 minutes to go in the third period. Stahl in the corner. Waits. Stahl, the shot. Blocked on the way through. Suzuki plays it back here for Dobson. Pass for Suzuki out of the reach. Out of 2 players' reach. Caulfield. Suzuki will get it now at center. They're backing on side on the entry. Got it to Anderson. Newhook. Centering pass. And that one did not go. Still a full crowd here in some sections of the crowd at the Bell Center. Some have started to leave with 8.5 to go. Gooley fires it back in from center. Round the boards it goes. Demidov trying to battle there. Chatfield, Savkoski. Demidov trying to battle it free from the pile. Savkoski in behind the net. Pressured by Slavin. Savkoski lost the handle. Trying to force it in deep, and then it's cleared out. It is just not going well. Hasn't been going well since game 1. Demidov. Jarvis forcing him off of the puck. And Jarvis got it free. Got to spare. Off the boards. Deflected. Not out of the zone just yet. Savkoski got it to Evans. Tried to pass that back, and nothing going there. I don't know what he was seeing there. Back on the other wing, and it's covered up by Dobish as he spins around a 360. 7:49 to go. The shots right now in the game are 36-15. Rod Brendamore's squad has done an incredible job in limiting the opportunities, like I've said multiple times throughout the broadcast, but it has just been incredible how they have just nullified the offense of the Montreal Canadiens. Frederick Anderson on the road has been perfect. 918 save percentage, a 1.50 goals against average, and 5-0. Trying to make it 6-0 and potentially gets a shutout here, potentially. Deneau off the glass, try to clear it. Tying up there, Robinson will force it back in, bouncing towards Dovish. Got the stick on it, and Dobson has it in behind his own net. Tries to stretch ahead through the middle. This one will be a icing here on the... No, it will not. Never mind. Deneau in behind the net. Anderson getting there. Anderson in behind. Bolduc trying to get there as well, and he has the puck in the corner. Anderson got taken down from behind the net with Nikishin battling there. Deneau. Bolduc has the puck. Plays that back for Madison, who could not hold the line. Has a great play there off the stick of Robinson. Deflected it away. Dobish plays it in behind his own net with 7 minutes remaining in the third period. The shots are 12-0 in the third in favor of the Carolina Hurricanes. The worst period potentially for the Montreal Canadiens in this postseason. As you can see, it's just slowly going away. Stankoven with Taylor Hall. Stankoven the shot. Save Dobish. 6:41 to go in the third period. I don't know how Evans passes that back. And the experienced Carolina Hurricanes are outworking the young and fast Montreal Canadiens. No shots in the third period. Unbelievable for the Montreal Canadiens, and it is frustrating to see for the Bell Center fans. You're in attendance that both the games are going to get dropped here and potentially cost them. Turnover here. Ehlers a shot, deflects into the netting and out of play. 6:29 remaining in the third period. And I don't know what to say anymore. This has just gone to bad to worse for the Canadiens, and I don't know how they would recover from this from Game 5. They got to change their lineup. They have to for Game 5, because you got to know they cannot roll this roster another time. If they do, for sure, I think they would lose Game 5 as well. Carolina is just on their game tonight. 2-on-1 the other way. Marnik trying to find a man open in Ehlers, and it didn't go. Marnik from behind the net. Nothing going here. Someone in our chat said pull the goalie now. Screw it. Well, if Montreal can get some puck possession, maybe. But nothing's going their way right now. Carolina has possession in the offensive zone. Held in by Slavin. Round the boards it goes. In behind, Goulet tying up with Marnik. Slavkovsky. And finally, Montreal has the puck. They have no shots in the period, by the way. Knocked down against Slavkovsky, and it's covered up by Dobish. It is just a funeral march. It is just... It's insane. The Montreal Canadiens have collapsed in this third period. They're getting outshot by a ton. More than a dozen shots on goal by the Hurricanes here in the third. They have done an incredible job. We'll be back with 5:46 remaining in the third period. 3-0. The Hurricanes leading it. They're that much time away from taking a 3-1 series lead in the Eastern Conference Final. Back here at the Bell Center, and I'm Max. Glad you can be with us here on our coverage of the Stanley Cup Playoffs Eastern Conference Final. And we're 5:46 away from our conclusion of this one, barring any miracle from the Montreal Canadiens. Like I've been saying, I don't know if they're going to get it. They're not going to get it. And it just seems impossible. Nothing's impossible in the Stanley Cup Playoffs, but it has just looked like nothing going for the Canadiens. And the crowd here at the Bell Center slowly starting to empty. Not as empty as our picture as our background in our broadcast or our stream right here, but it is starting to empty out a little bit here. 5:44 remaining in the third period. You gotta think Montreal, if they get any ozone time at all. No icing here. Anderson trying to get to the loose puck first. He does. Anderson in the corner, lost it. Nikishin battling there. Held in along the board, centering pass for Bolduc, got wide. Matheson now fires a shot. They ripped over. A penalty upcoming here. And I believe this is on Josh Anderson. Again. I think Josh Anderson takes another penalty. And so they call a retaliatory call. Anderson got high-sticked, and then Nikishin You got to control your emotions there if you're Anderson. But there was a missed high stick there. And but you got to control your emotions if you're Josh Anderson. You have to there. Your team's down with less than 6 minutes to go, and you just cannot take a penalty. 5:26 to go in the third period. And a power play here for the Hurricanes. Their 6th power play of the night. Josh Anderson, an interference call. Miller tied up in the corner. Newhook gets it free. Centering pass. Trying to go short-handed. They could have really used a short-handed goal right now. Stankoven brings it in. Blake, the shot was blocked. And Newhook will clear it down the length of the ice. Yep, Montreal's going to have to go for broke and run with it. Get ready to pull the goalie and step on the gas. That's what we're going to need to do. Any chance they get. Blake looking. Blake on the outside into the corner. He'll play it back into the point for Miller. Back for Blake in the circle. Down low it goes. Return feed here for Blake from Hall. Back for Miller. Cross it goes. Stankoven and moving here. Ehlers, Stankoven. Back to the line. Miller across for Blake in the dot. Cross it goes. It got blocked. Blake gets it back. Ehlers plays it back to the line. Miller across for Stankoven looking. One turn by Ehlers and a save. Rebound was blocked in front of the net. And sitting down on it was Evans. Or Goulet, pardon me. I've just lost track of names now. 4:17 remaining here in the third period. Still a 3-0 lead here for the Hurricanes. Nothing is going right for the Montreal Canadiens. Here's Gostisbehere now. 45 to go on the power play. Svechnikov. Shot from the line wide. Svechnikov will get it off the backboards. Play that back here to the line. Gostisbehere. Svechnikov once again crossed the ice. That pass deflected off the stick of Evans. And the Canadiens look to go short-handed here. And it's Carrier trying to force it in deep. Just killing off the time here on the power play with less than 3:50 remaining. Back in onside. Aho carries it back in with 15 to go on the power play. Svechnikov down low. Centering pass. Jarvis is stopped on a chance there in front of the net by Dobish. Svechnikov back for Jarvis once again. Fires a shot. Save. Goes into the corner. Chatfield. Aho the shot. Blocked away by Dobish. That will do it for the power play. You got to think now the Canadiens got to pull their goaltender. 3:15 to go. The shots are 41-15 in favor of the Hurricanes. This might be the most lopsided conference final I've seen in a long time with the shots on goal. Dobish plays it out to center. He's had enough of it, and he's just saying, move the puck ahead into the offensive zone. Caulfield trying to get it, held into the zone, played it down low. Suzuki shot and a save made by Anderson. You got to think here, they got to pull the goaltender. Finally, a shot on goal for the Canadiens in this third period. That is their first shot of the third period. Coming late in the third. Wow. Good opportunity, though, for Nick Suzuki. 16 shots and an empty net at the other end. Empty net. Dobish is out of the net, and we have that. Jacob Dobish, 533 shots he's faced this postseason, most in the NHL. He's faced a lot of shots. He's done a great job. He's helped the Canadiens a lot, and in this game he's given them a chance, even in a 3-goal advantage. Off the draw, and not held in. That's rolling down towards that empty net, and just wide. The battle for it as Marnock is down on the ice. Ehlers will get it free. Looking to center it towards the empty net. Caulfield will play it back for Dobson, but then giving away to Marnock in the corner. Trying to center one in Suzuki. This is just sloppy here by the Canadiens. Hudson will carry it ahead and will fire it back in from center. Another dump and chase here. Miller trying to get in the corner. They battle for it. Demidov coming free here. Demidov trying to get it around the boards. Hudson the shot deflects into the corner. Miller for that empty net, try to play it ahead. Ehlers racing for it, for that empty net, off the crossbar. Barred down, but off the crossbar, it did not go in. Suzuki carries it back in with 2 minutes remaining in the third period. Deflected out to center. Race for the puck here. Empty net. Scores! Svechnikov! And that will do it. The Carolina Hurricanes are just 1 win away from the Stanley Cup final. What a game here by the Hurricanes. Yeah, this is their best game of the postseason in this Eastern Conference final. And how they just dominated and suffocated the Montreal Canadiens. 42-16, the shots favored the Hurricanes. And a 4-0 lead. Andrei Svechnikov, his second goal of the series. Back-to-back games with a goal. The last one, the overtime goal in Game 3. Tie up in the corner with 1:35 to go. Potentially the last time this Canadiens crowd sees their Montreal Canadiens play in this season. With 1:20 remaining in the third, the Carolina Hurricanes are about to go up 3-1 and be just 1 win away from the Stanley Cup final. That hasn't happened since 2006, and they've been 1 win away. And that was against Buffalo when they were 1 win away and won that Game 7. Justin Williams, Mr. Game 7. Matheson's shot was blocked by Veleno on the way through. And in the final minute, Hurricanes with a 4-0 lead, and looking like they're going to cruise to a victory here at the Bell Center. Veleno gets it now. Out of the reach, trying to go for a change. Blake will dump it back in, or try to at least. Jackson Blake carries it back in on side, on the outside looking. Centering pass, no one was there. Out in front of the net, but the centering feed by Eric Robinson. Dumped back in on goal. Played by Anderson, cleared out immediately. Robinson played it in, 2-on-1 the other way. Walker in, fires a shot that deflected wide. Rebound, and Dobish keeps it out. What an incredible save there. And a fight after the save there. And Struble, here we go. Robinson tying up in the corner with Gooley. The frustration for the Canadiens showing right now. And Struble has one of the Hurricanes from behind here. I'm not sure who it is. Is it Jankowski? Or Ehlers? Gooley's out of the game, and he's frustrated by this. 16.6 remaining in the third period. What a save right here by Dobish to keep that out, to prevent a 5-0 lead. Even in the dying moments of the game where you're down 4-0, he is still making some good saves. And the Canadiens and the Hurricanes here in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final. The Hurricanes come to Montreal tied at 1 in the series and are about to take 2 on the road and be up 3-1 in the Eastern Conference Final and be just 1 win away from the Stanley Cup Final to meet the Vegas Golden Knights. And they would host those games if they do win on Friday. Montreal will need a huge game in Game 5. The rest of the games will be huge for them. They would have to win every single game to move on to the Stanley Cup Final. But the Carolina Hurricanes, an experienced squad. They've been in this position before and they've squandered it away. The Eastern Conference Final has been their enemy in the past couple of seasons. And right now, for the moment, they have looked like the better team the whole series. And they're about to take a 3-1 lead in the series and be just a win away. Off the face-off one here. Carrier clears it out to Bolduc. 10 seconds remaining here at the Bell Center. As It's flipped out to center ice, knocked down by Matheson, and that will do it. The Carolina Hurricanes are just a win away from the Stanley Cup final as they go up 3-1 in the Eastern Conference final. And they'll be going back home for Game 5. Freddie Andersen, with his 8th career postseason shutout, 5th with the Hurricanes, a new team record as they win it 4-0. Seventh team in NHL history to win 6 road games to open a postseason. And they are up 3-1 in the Eastern Conference final. And on Friday, they have a chance to eliminate the Montreal Canadiens and move on to the Stanley Cup final. They took both the games here at the Bell Center on the road in domination fashion. Freddie Andersen with the shutout in Game 4. 4-0. Your final here from the Bell Center. The Hurricanes with a 3-1 lead in the series. Montreal will need a bounce-back game in Game 5, or else it's the Hurricanes to the Stanley Cup final. We'll see you Friday for Game 5 of this series. Good night, everybody.